For hundreds of years, the Galactic Empire had never known defeat. Their warships were the largest in the galaxy. Their weapons could break planets. Their armies had conquered thousands of worlds. Every species that stood against them eventually fell. And because of that, the Empire believed they were unbeatable. Then they heard about Earth's new creation, a small human prototype ship. When the news reached the Galactic Council, the entire room laughed. The alien leaders watched the first images of a human machine and smiled. It looked nothing like a powerful warship. It had no giant cannons, no endless armor, and no massive energy shields. One alien commander even called it a child's toy. He said humans had wasted years building a machine that would never survive a real battle. The galaxy agreed. Humanity was young. Their technology was new. They were not supposed to challenge an empire that had ruled for centuries. But the aliens did not know the truth. The prototype was never created to look powerful. It was created to become powerful. Deep inside a hidden human research station near the edge of space, a small team of engineers watched the galaxy laugh at their creation. They were not angry. They were waiting. The lead scientist, Dr. Elias Carter, looked at the prototype floating inside the massive hangar. He knew everyone believed it was a failure, but he also knew they were wrong. The machine was not built with normal weapons. It used a technology that no other species had ever imagined, a technology that could change the future of warfare forever. When the Empire decided to send a fleet to destroy Earth's useless invention, they expected an easy victory. Thousands of enemy ships moved toward the human research station. The Empire prepared a celebration. They believed humanity's biggest mistake was about to disappear. But when the first enemy weapon fired at the prototype, something impossible happened. The human ship did not break. It did not run. It awakened, and for the first time in centuries, the Galactic Empire felt something they had forgotten: fear. The Empire's fleet surrounded the human research station like a storm covering the sky. Thousands of warships moved into position. Their commanders watched the small human prototype, sitting alone in space, completely confident that victory was already theirs. To them, this was not a battle. It was a simple cleanup mission. The main Empire commander, General Varric, looked at the human ship through a screen and smiled. After today, no one will remember this machine, he said. The order was given. Fire. Hundreds of powerful energy weapons shot toward the human prototype at the same time. The attack was strong enough to destroy a large battleship in seconds. Everyone expected to see the human ship disappear. But nothing happened. The weapons reached the prototype and stopped. The entire battlefield became silent. The Empire commanders stared at their screens, unable to understand what they were seeing. The human ship had not blocked the attack. It had not escaped. It had simply absorbed the energy. For the first time, the Empire saw something they could not explain. Inside the prototype, Dr. Elias Carter watched the enemy fleet carefully. He knew this moment would come. The prototype was not designed to overpower enemy weapons. It was designed to learn from them. Every attack made it stronger. Every weapon used against it gave it more information. The Empire had just made their biggest mistake. They had tested humanity's creation for them. As the alien commanders panicked, the prototype slowly moved forward. A ship that was called useless. A machine that was called a failure. Now it was moving toward the largest fleet in the galaxy without fear. The Empire quickly changed its orders. Destroy it. But their next attack failed too. Then the third. Then the fourth. Nothing worked. Across the galaxy, news spread quickly. The human prototype had survived the Empire's strongest weapons. And everyone began asking the same question. If this was only Earth's prototype, what had humanity already built? The galaxy could not believe what had happened. For the first time in hundreds of years, the Galactic Empire's fleet had been stopped by a single human ship. But the Empire refused to accept the truth. They believed it was a mistake, a lucky accident. General Varric ordered his scientists to study every piece of data from the battle. He wanted to find the weakness of the human prototype, but every report gave him the same answer. There was no weakness. The machine was doing something impossible. It was adapting. Every time the Empire attacked, the prototype learned faster. Deep inside Earth's hidden command center, humans watched the Empire's confusion. They knew the time had come to reveal a small part of the truth. Years before the Empire noticed humanity, Earth had discovered that the galaxy was not peaceful. Many civilizations had been destroyed because they trusted stronger powers. Humanity decided it would never make that mistake. The prototype project was created in secret. It was not just a weapon. It was a symbol, a warning. The lead engineer, Dr. Elias Carter, explained to the world leaders that the prototype was designed with one purpose: to make sure Earth would never be helpless again. The Empire had laughed because they only saw the outside of the machine. They saw a small ship. They never saw the millions of hours of human research inside it. They never saw the hidden technology. And they never imagined that the prototype was only the beginning. When the Empire discovered that Earth had more designs hidden away, fear spread among their commanders. They had not found humanity's greatest weapon. They had only found humanity's first experiment. The Empire leader became desperate. He ordered the creation of the largest attack fleet ever assembled. His plan was simple: destroy Earth before the humans could build anything more powerful. But as a massive fleet moved toward human space, one message reached every corner of the galaxy: humanity is no longer hiding. And everyone waited to see what Earth would do next. The Galactic Empire prepared for its biggest attack in history. Millions of ships left their home worlds and moved toward human space. Their commanders believed this would be the final battle. They were certain Earth would surrender. After all, no civilization had ever survived against the full power of the Empire. But they did not understand humanity. Humans had spent years watching the galaxy. They saw how the Empire destroyed weaker planets. They saw how fear controlled entire civilizations. And they decided that one day, someone had to stand against them. That day had arrived. As the Empire fleet entered Earth's territory, they expected to see panic. Instead, they saw silence. No emergency signals. No surrender messages. Nothing. Then every sensor across the battlefield detected something approaching. One human ship appeared from the darkness. Then another. Then hundreds. Then thousands. The Empire commanders froze. These were not normal warships. They were improved versions of the prototype. The same technology they laughed at was now surrounding their entire fleet. General Varric stared at the impossible sight. The prototype was never a failure, he whispered. It was a test. For the first time, the Empire understood the truth. Humanity had allowed them to believe they were weak. The small prototype was never meant to win a war. It was meant to prove that the technology worked. And it had. The Empire attacked first, but the human fleet moved faster than anything they had ever seen. Their weapons could not lock onto human ships. Their shields could not stop human attacks. Every advantage the Empire once had disappeared. Across the galaxy, millions watched as the strongest empire began to fall. The same leaders who laughed at Earth now feared it. But humanity was not fighting for revenge. They were fighting to make sure no one would ever threaten innocent world again. As the Empire's final fleet prepared for battle, one message came from Earth, a simple warning. You should have stopped when we gave you the chance. And then the human prototype technology was fully activated. The moment humanity activated the full power of the prototype technology, the entire battlefield changed. The Empire's commanders watched in disbelief as their greatest weapons became useless. For centuries, they had won because their enemies were always afraid. But humans were different. They did not fear the Empire. They studied it. They prepared for it. The human fleet moved through space with perfect control. Every ship worked together like a single machine. The technology that the Empire called impossible was now being used by thousands of human vessels. General Varric ordered his remaining ships to attack. He refused to accept defeat. Destroy the humans before they destroy our name, he commanded. The Empire fleet fired everything they had: powerful cannons, ancient weapons, forbidden energy attacks. But nothing could stop humanity. The prototype technology adapted to every attack. The more the Empire fought, the stronger the human fleet became. For the first time in history, the Empire was trapped by its own strength. Their greatest weapons had become the reason for their downfall. As the battle reached the Empire's capital, the alien leaders finally understood their mistake. They had looked at humanity and only saw a young species. They saw weakness. They saw an experience. They never saw determination. They never saw the human ability to learn. The human fleet stopped above the Empire's central world, the same world that had celebrated Earth's failure, the same place where alien leaders laughed at the human prototype. Now, silence filled the capital. The Empire's leader sent one final message. Why did you hide this power for so long? Dr. Elias Carter looked at the fallen Empire through the communication screen. His answer was simple. Because power is not meant to control others. It is meant to protect those who cannot protect themselves. The Empire finally surrendered. The galaxy watched as the strongest force it had ever known came to an end. But they soon discovered something even more shocking. The weapon that ended the Empire was not humanity's strongest creation. After the fall of the Galactic Empire, the galaxy entered a new age. For thousands of years, planets had lived under fear. They believed the strongest always had the right to rule. But humanity changed that belief. The worlds that were once controlled by the Empire were finally free. Alien civilizations that had hidden in fear now looked toward Earth with respect, not because humanity had the strongest weapon, but because humanity chose how to use it. The human prototype became a symbol across the galaxy. The same machine that was once called a failure became the invention that ended the most dangerous empire in history. Alien scientists studied it for years, trying to understand how a small human project became something so powerful. But they never found the complete answer, because the true power of humanity was never inside the prototype. It was inside the minds of the people who created it. Humans had something the galaxy did not understand. They failed. They learned. They improved. And they never stopped searching for a better way. Years later, a young alien officer visited Earth's main space station. He stood in front of the original prototype, the same ship that once made the galaxy laugh. He looked at it and asked the human commander a simple question. How did everyone misunderstand you? The commander smiled and looked at the stars, because they only saw what we showed them. The alien officer became curious. What else is humanity hiding? The human commander looked toward the endless darkness of space. For a moment, he said nothing. Then he answered, the prototype was our first step. The alien officer became silent, because he finally understood. The galaxy had spent years fearing one human creation, but humanity had never stopped building. The Empire believed Earth's prototype was the end of their story. They were wrong. It was only the beginning. And from that day forward, every civilization remembered one truth. Never judge humanity by what they show you, because their greatest power is always what they have not revealed yet.